big deal it is.
I'd like to call to order Superintendent's Information Meeting, Committee Meeting, February 2nd at 7:03 p.m. Start with please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Special reports, IU number 7, Mr. Leonard.
Thank you, Mr. President. There were 2 meetings held at the IU in January. The regular meeting, the 27th, due to a scheduling conflict, I was unable to attend. I requested some follow-up written information. There's also a summary of a WIU board meeting report in everybody's packet. I'd encourage you to read that. I can't add a lot to that. It says I'm unable to attend. But I did attend a workshop meeting, and there was a single topic workshop meeting regarding the status of Clairview Building and the expiration of their lease regarding that building. So some very large decisions need made very quickly, and that'll be the subject of probably every meeting we have for the rest of the year. Hopefully we get moving on pretty quick. We're going to run out of time. And that is all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Leonard. Libraries, Legislative Counselor Dr. Trey, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Very brief. There's a massive number of agenda items that the governor's trying to work out with the changed political party system, but I'm not going to go over any of that stuff. It's all speculative at this time, except for one. Apparently somebody out east, they're trying to push for a statewide health consortium, going county by county or IU by IU. There seems to be a stronger momentum than there has been in previous years. So that's another area we might be looking at as a potential change too, out of the ordinary, I guess I should say. Second thing relates to a guy, Joseph Pancic. For the PSBA, he's our regional representative and pretty well respected all in all in PSBA. And he's looking for volunteers. We have a member commission now. The PSBA has changed now to have much more control through the local school systems and much more involvement with local membership. So he's looking to appoint 1 person to the bylaws committee for the state and 2 people for the platform committee for the state also to be part of the program. And the PSBA will pay mileage, meals, and overnight lodging for those of you who would be interested. If you have a passion for that type of thing, like to become a part of it, let me know, let Joe know, and again, we're looking for 2 appointments in that area. The third thing was with the libraries. The libraries, I had a conversation, again, this is through Dr. Harris with a return call from Chris Chesky, and she's already starting to partner up some with our local libraries as far as support for some of the programs, the early intervention, early reading programs, very innovative stuff, trying to keep that process going and instill reading in our youth. And the last thing was I just got an email that apparently the Penn area library was part of a grant involving 5 other school systems received through Westmoreland County pertaining to something called the Poverty Awareness Grant. It was $15,000 distributed through 5 local libraries, and Penn area was one of those 5 that received their portion of money, which I guess is $3,000. That's all I have, Mr. President.
Thank you, Dr. Trey. Career Tech, Mr. Petrucci, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Our meeting was January 21st, and we were first initiated with a presentation by Mr. Thomas Yoder for auto mechanics, and he went through all the programs, all the car dealerships that we deal with, and the biggest car dealership that helps out all the Central Vo-Tech kids in the 9th school district is Schmel. Schmel is very big, very popular, and they do take on a lot of kids after their job stations program. It works out for them, beneficial, they hire them. The average starting salary of kids who graduate from auto mechanics is $15 an hour until they start going a flat rate. So the auto mechanics is working out very, very well. Okay, kids that made the director's list: Emily Baird, Health Occupations Technology; Ashley Buzelli, Cosmetology; Casey Campbell, Protective Services; Nia DeCenzo, which is graphic design; Lauren Downs, cosmetology. Trevor Gumbach, automotive collision. Peyton Jones, graphic design. Joshua Kazakowski, welding. Alicia Long, protective services. Penelope Schroeder, graphic design. And Sarah Wilkinson, she made it for carpentry. The woman in carpentry made the director's list, which I thought was very nice. And we passed the letter of retirement for Colleen Beck. She was our secretary there for 40 years, also the board secretary. She started when she told us 20 years old. And we're not replacing her right now. They're going to look at the replacing her with a business manager. Her salary right now is $65,000 a year, plus her benefits is $18,000. We may do a subcontract situation. There's supposed to be agencies out there to furnish business managers, but Dr. Harris is on the screening committee, and I discussed that a little bit with him today. Powerline bought a new cherry picker for $45,000. We approved that, and the cosmetology project should be done in February. Let me see, oh yeah, I think this is for Dr. Costco. You asked me about the solar power and wind power, the generation curriculum, and I told you with the electrical occupations program. If you're interested, they sent me a nice cover sheet here. I don't want to read the whole thing to everybody. And they said, you know, this is because I asked them because which program of studies. I have it right here. If you wish to look at it, I'll let you look at it. Please get it back to me because they want me to return it. Okay, I scanned through it, and I know you have a rich background in this. I don't have, but some of it I understood about maybe 5%, but I'll be honest. But if you do want to look at this, I'll gladly give this to you, and you can return it to me next week. Okay, thank you for that. And let me see, our next meeting is on the, let me see, this is the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, the 18th of this month. And of course, the best for last. The goodie report, salad bar, pasta salad, broccoli salad, and we had a ham, chicken, tuna, and egg salad croissants. They were very tasty. Sweet treats, cupcakes, chocolate and vanilla, sugar cookies, chocolate chip cookies, and laylocks. That's all I have, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Petrucci. Recreation boards, Penn Township.
Thank you, Mr. President. The meeting was on January 22nd, and I'll report it out at the next meeting.
Well, thank you, Dr. Koshko. Trafford Borough, back to you, Mr. Petrucci.
Thank you, Mr. President. Okay, we met on it was last Monday on the 26th, and we had a quorum. You know, the weather was very, very, very chilly, just like tonight. We had a quorum, and we discussed the woodlawn roof with the playground, the roof in the pavilion there. We need volunteers very bad. Right now, we got one bid of $27,000. We're going through the Friends of Pete Dark, which we hope will furnish us 25% if it's approved. And we're going to try to get more bids. We get a lower bid, then we'll get the reimbursement. We hope to help them help us out. Our borough manager has not given us a fast report. Of course, she's just filling in right now. And they're advertised now for a full-time person. On the auction at 28th this month, if somebody wants to come here, baseball card collection, Mr. Knoll, and the coin collection, Mr. Leonard, I'll let him take them. Also, we just received this Steeler football, autographed Steeler football for 2014. All the guys on that team will be up for auction. And this is interesting. Shows you that some people have real big hearts. Is that well, I always had entertainment books there. Mr. Leonard comes to the auction. He's seen entertainment books, helps sell. Usually the first 4 or 5 items we can't sell, we throw an entertainment book out there with it. Give everything for $5. And this year, you know, they got tired of Nick sponging off them, so they said from now on, you know, you got to pay. So they said $10 a book, which isn't. I didn't think that was too bad, but you had to buy 40 books. I said, well, now I'm at $400. I didn't mind paying $10 to him, but I'll donate $100. So I went down and I saw Tommy Dobrnick. He's involved with farming, and farming have hoagie sales. And also Tim's now in Trafford starting a Friday fish for Lent. And I said, well, Tommy, he's affiliated, but he's pretty heavy in farming. And I said, Tommy, could you handle maybe 10, 15, 20? I said, put them on a table and people pick up their hoagies. You know, if they want to pay $15 for an entertainment book, you know. And Tom said, don't worry about it, Nick, I'll give you $300. He donated $300 for paid for the 30 books, and I donated the other $100 myself, so there'll be entertainment books at the auction this week. Mostly thank you to Tom Dobrik. He was very generous. And our next meeting was it'll be February 23rd, and I just found out that the Lionesses Club in Trafford wants to go together with us on the Easter program, and she said Lionesses probably are losing numbers. They've had some people there, they're in their 80s, and they're just, well, I'm not there yet, but I'm getting closer. But I just start wearing out. Okay, all right, that's all I have on that, Mr. President.
All right, thank you, Mr. Petrucci. Penn Borough, Dr. Trey.
No report at this time, Mr. President.
Thank you, Dr. Trey. P-TART,
Here we go.
Mr. Petrucci.
Jesus Christ. All right.
All right, thank you.
Okay, P-TART meeting was just today. All right, just 4 o'clock today, and we have an opening that because of Tracy Lazar, she moving to Indiana, and there's a gentleman there today that Larry Harrison brought, and his name is Stan
Rudge.
Yeah, Rudge. Okay, and he's going to apply for the opening, and he a big bicyclist apparently. What he was talking to us, he's in the trails. He's pretty high in that, so Dr. Harris put his name on an agenda to approve him to be the other representative at large for the school district. The municipal records, we're not going to microfilm. Linda said that she thinks she can handle. She's reducing it down to a small few boxes. Facility rental, there's one more left yet for the P-TART building, which is the old elementary building, which will be done in May. And Larry Harrison, you're going to come across that. You'll discuss that in yours, Matt. But Larry, tell us about the.
No, you can have that.
Okay, all right. So the public knows that the Level Green Elementary building, which has been P-TART building, and now P-TART is dropping the building, and as you know, Level Green firemen are interested in the building, but they said that they're in a situation, I guess, with the township commissioners back and forth, but Larry told us tonight that the township is completely responsible from January 1 this year here for all expenses, cutting the grass, maintaining all utilities until they get it resolved. That there's a time frame, year 3 years, 5 years, and their Level Green Fire Department is going to take it over. But that's how that stands. But the school district has no financial responsibility, but we still are the sole owner. When it comes back to reverter, it still comes back to us. It does not go. The township cannot sell it, but they can use it for municipal purposes, which that is what, of course, the fire department is municipal purposes. The Chile Golf Course is the 28th of March. They already have 7 foursomes. They need 14. They sold out last year. She expects the same thing. There'll be no triathlon this year. They're going to make a duathlon for young kids age 8 to 15. And it's going to be June 13, 2015. Her fund balance is $51,000. Last year just signed $102,000. But the reason for that, she just has not received the money yet from the school district or from Trafford Borough, and also the $10,000 for unused sick days that we gave to Cheryl Kemmer whenever she retired. Okay. Oh yeah, and also the Funastic night with kids age 8 to 12 is February 6th, and the location is Allison Biondi Gymnastic Facility on 130 and 1 Pennsylvania. That's all I have, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Petrucci. PTCEF, Dr. Harris.
Sure. 2 weekends ago, we had the PT Got Talent Night. We had about 500 in attendance. It was a good night for a lot of talented children and some adults. We will use all the money and the proceeds to award teacher grants, which go directly towards classroom and building supplies. The next round of grants will be sent out in February, and that's all I have.
Thank you, Dr. Harris. Tonight, an executive session was held prior to the meeting to discuss personal, labor, and legal matters and to receive information. On the information, Dr. Harris.
Sure. On behalf of the Naming Rights Committee of Marty Stover and Dr. Trey and myself, I am pleased to announce that we have another room of our high school sold. The classroom that we will use for the family consumer science class, the fashion design, as well as art, would now be called Mara Lou's Corner. To give us more information on who is Mara Lou and why the FCS room was chosen, I would turn it over to the man who is making the commitment to our school district, and that's Mr. Mike Ginsberg.
My name is Mike Ginsberg. Thank you, Dr. Harris. Let me begin by saying thank you for the opportunity for us to do this. This is a wonderful, wonderful way for anybody to give back to to their community. My daughter Jennifer and my son Michael's here. In 1998, Mary Lou Call, she was one of the 3 call girls, graduated from Trafford High School. She was an honor student, and she went on to Indiana University for a teacher's degree and a little bit of home economics. Well, her senior year at Trafford High School, she won a national contest. She applied for the Miss Betty Crocker Award, and she was awarded Miss Betty Crocker USA. Something we're all pretty proud of, and I'm trying to contact Betty Crocker to get a few more bits of information on it. But Mary Lou and I, we were married in '76. We moved to Level Green in '79. I bought my in-laws house. And within a short period of time, about 6 months, I was the block captain for the new crime watch for the area. And then involved with baseball, Cub Scouts, Boy Scouts. She taught down at St. Regis, taught math and computer science. She rented the concession, the Lions building. She was the person who you called when you wanted to rent the Level Green Community Building. The Boy Scouts planted a tree in her name when she passed away in '98. There was money donated for the swing sets at the Level Green Playground. The concession stand in Level Green, the LGAA building, has Mary Lou's kitchen on it. And for us to have this opportunity is really, really thrilling. But I want to tell you a little bit more about our community we live in. She was diagnosed in 1997 with 1 year to live. That was about February. And that year, we were challenged. And the last 6 months, it got a little heavy. And my children were 15 and 17. And with people like Tony Issing, you don't want to mess with Tony. She handled all the insurance claims, all the doctor's bills. She took care of my taxes. And about 25 other families helped. Every day I went to work, they had teams of women coming to sit with her. She was in a wheelchair. And then at 5 o'clock, somebody brought us dinner. And so for us to have this opportunity, how could you not do something for your community? For a while there, I thought we had an angel, only to find out we just live in a community that it's full of angels. I mean, this is really something else to be able to do this. And all I could say is thank you. We look forward to this. Mary Lou was a home economics. She liked to sew. She liked to cook. And she was very involved with her community. So to have this room called Mary Lou's Corner, all we got to say is thank you very much from the bottom of our heart.
Thank you. Can you quickly introduce your 2 kids? Now that I know they're no longer kids, but they're always kids.
I'll make Mike this bigger, Mike.
We prefer old and young Mike.
By the way, we have 3 grandchildren, and both of my kids still live in Penn Township in Level Green, so their children will be up here in another 5, 10 years.
Well, thank you so much. And the room is scheduled. Scott, you said the room should be scheduled for the start of next school year?
That should be done in August. That's the plan.
So what we do, we'll have a nice dedication ceremony and a reception after school.
We're going to have something official with Betty Crocker.
Okay, look forward to it.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I am now going to turn over to our business manager, Mr. Brett Lego. Lego, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
He will introduce the next presenter.
Yeah, with us tonight we have John Sarp, the managing partner of Sarp & Company, who've been our longtime auditors, and Max Fontaine, who has done the on-site work for the audit for the last several years. They're here to present the annual audit results to you. We'll have that on the agenda next week for approval. And I'm sure if you have any questions, you can reach out to John or Max directly. Their contact information is in the report. So I turn it over to you, John.
Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen of the board, good evening. It's my pleasure to present an audit report that has no findings and no problems. And I think that is every board member's first question. I would like to just refresh for the efficacy of some of the members who are not exactly clear on our role and the role of the business office. I know you just got these in front of you today. You don't have to look on with me or anything, but we have different responsibilities. Management has a responsibility for the preparation and fair presentation of these financial statements. As auditors, our responsibility is to express an opinion on whether they state fairly in all material respects the results of operations and financial position of the school district. I'm pleased to say that this report does just that. In fact, if you'll forgive me for reading, in our opinion, the financial statements referred to above present fairly each major fund, aggregate remaining fund information of the Penn Trafford School District as of June 30th, 2014. We have an emphasis of matter in the report, but that is a very simple thing. The Government Accounting Standards Boards, or GASB, has pronouncements galore, but this year they implemented GASB 65, items previously reported as assets and liabilities. And believe me, it's a little obtuse, but it is nothing that you can't understand. Basically, it's terminology changes is what it really amounts to. You'll see that in note 15 when you get a chance to look through these statements. In addition to making sure that the financial statements represent fairly, we also report on the internal control over financial reporting. Internal controls are either administrative or accounting. They are as simple as 2 signatures on a check. They're as complex as a series of, for instance, for sporting events, the receipt of the money, the tabulating the money, the transferring the money, depositing the money. It can be a complex process. But we do opine on that as well. And to get to the heart of the matter, given these limitations, the results of our test disclose no instances of non-compliance or other matters that are required to be reported under government auditing standards. Again, a clean opinion, really the highest form of assurance. And there were no findings of any material nature for the single audit. The single audit is the representation of all the federal funds, whether they are passed through the state or come directly from the federal government. And they have put the onus on us for several years now, a good many years actually, to make sure that these funds are reported properly, that they are used and expended for the purposes for which they are granted, and we found no instances of non-compliance. I'm also pleased to report, as usual, that we had no disagreements with management as to accounting principles or the posting of entries, none of that. I'm sure by now you're all aware that Brett does a good job, and it is a pleasure to come into an audit and have everything be just about perfect. There are some small things, but we discuss them with Brett and we fix them, and they're immaterial for the most part. Now, again, I realize that you've only had this, you probably haven't even opened it, but I would say this, that we are not here once a year to present to you. Our offices are in Greensburg. If you read this report and you come up with a question on any part of it whatsoever, pick up the phone and give us a call. We'll be glad to talk with you and to answer whatever questions you may have. Are there any questions now? Hearing none, again, thank you very much.
Just real quick.
Of course, sure.
What's our percent of our fund balance again? 5%? 75%? 6%?
Well, most of your fund balance is restricted, and I believe that's for the renovations and capital improvement.
It's and or the Peasers situation.
Oh, right.
So I
If you look on page, right after the discussion and analysis, management's discussion and analysis. Excuse me. We can find the, you'll see the fund balance display. Fund balance is broken into restricted and free and committed. And there is a detail of that in the report.
More just on.
Page 11.
That's where it should be. Page 11, exactly right. And as you see, we break it by the general fund, capital reserve fund, capital projects fund, and total governmental funds. Down at the bottom, you'll see that the restricted fund balance amount is $17,357,000. The committed fund balance, $2,432,000, and the unassigned or free fund balance, $1,714,000.
Well, it's combined, it would be a little bit under 10% right now. We're about 8%.
If you take away from capital improvements, which is,
I'm not counting capital improvements, I'm counting just the general fund balance. 4.1 million on $50 million of expenditure, basically.
but our funded, I mean, our budget is $50 million.
Right. So you're looking at 5% approximately on committed for the PSERS, and then maybe 3.5% to 4% on the unassigned, which is a little bit better than we were last year. So that was,
I thought that was up, not by much. But the other PSERS, it's committed too.
Right.
Okay.
It is.
All right. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Thank you, John. We appreciate all the hard work that you and Max did.
And I appreciate the opportunity to be of service. Thank you.
And just for the board, I really have to give compliments to my staff. They do an excellent job. You know, they're the ones in the trenches every day. So they make Max and John's job a lot easier.
They certainly do. Again, I'm appreciative of that.
Yeah.
It's not like that everywhere.
I know. So thank you. Thanks, guys.
You're welcome.
All right, and I'll turn it over to Mr. Scotty Glaze. We'll introduce the next team of presenters.
We have Nate and Hank from Axis and Macero to give us an update on the construction project. Project is progressing along. We just moved into the math wing this week, so we're happy about that, and the teachers were pleased. Things are going well up in that section of the school. We moved into the back hallway area of the school towards the parking lot, or parking lots of the first and second floor there is underway right now. We should be in there, I think, by the end of May is the plan. We only have one change order for you this month, but we also are considering presenting two more change orders to you next week as well. But the one that's in front of you is for acid waste piping that we spoke of a few times before, but this is because of some of basically our acid waste was flowing uphill, and we had to change it to make sure it was going downhill. So that's a change order of $41,000. We also next week are going to present some numbers to the board for a change order for LED lighting in the new gymnasium. That's an upgrade, as well as the auxiliary gymnasium. We did a cost analysis of the payback for the energy efficiency and labor that would be associated with that, not the labor, but the rental, scissor lift that's associated with it. And over a 20-year period, we would get our money back if we upgraded to LED lighting in both those gymnasiums. The cost is approximately $42,000, and the payback is about $46,000 over a 20-year period. So I think it's in our best interest to move forward with that change order. We're also going to ask the board to approve a change order to upgrade our pool scoreboard, which will be a nice graphical display to make the enhancements to the pool that we all talked about in the past. So, Nate, go ahead and say a little bit.
With the LED lights, you're being able to take advantage of a recent decline in the prices. When LED lights first came out, everything was expensive. And when we looked at this originally during design, we were looking at $100,000+ for LED lights in those gymnasiums. And at that time, it didn't seem like it was cost effective. But the prices have significantly dropped from design till now, so it makes the cost-effective option.
And the quality of lighting is a little better as well.
Yeah, the quality of lighting is a little better. The lamps last much longer, so you have much less labor costs involved in relamping.
The lighting that we have now, and as soon as you install the bulbs, what do we have? It's called metal
You have
halide.
metal halide now.
And once those are installed, the new bulbs, over the course of 2-3 years, though, they significantly lose their luminosity. Is that the correct word? Lumens. So they need to change every couple of years. So that this will eliminate.
And the original, what was part of the design was going from metal halide to high bay fluorescence. So you got some energy savings with that, and your burn-in curve wasn't quite as drastic as what they are with the metal halide. But with the LED, it's even an upgrade from that.
Thank you. Thank you. Everything else?
Yeah, I'll just give a little bit more to the schedule update just so everyone knows what's happening here. Site work-wise, the retaining wall was installed down by the tennis courts. They're working on the drainage down in that area. It's just kind of a slow-moving process because the weather right now obviously is not cooperating. We had a really good December, which actually helped us get a jump on a lot of things, better than past years. So that was good for us, but right now it's the wet, soggy season, so haven't been able to do as much as we want. The English area is complete. The math area has been turned over recently, and then that's complete. The new nurses area, all the walls, ceilings, mechanical, electrical, plumbing, rough-ins are all done. Right now we're waiting on the flooring to go in there. Also, the casework shows up the middle of this month. So do the doors, and that'll allow that area to be finished and turned over pretty substantially early. The math area actually was supposed to be turned over originally June 1st. That finished really early. Was anticipated, which has been good. The library area, the skylight's installed. It's not leaking. And now, if you go in there, it's definitely worth the trip if you want to take a look in there right now. There's not too much construction in the way. If you go in there off hours, open the door to peek up in, because all the demolition has been done, and you see the amount of natural light and everything that's in there now. So you really, see how big of a skylight and the light that you get out of there. So it's definitely something to go check out. The annex, as you can see, the concrete block walls are going up on the annex. It's completely weather dependent. It's got to be over 30 degrees that day, maintain over 30 degrees for block work to be able to be done. So that actually is progressing a little better than we had anticipated because we had so many warm weather dates, towards the end of December going into January. Right now it's just kind of a waiting game. If we get a couple days in a row where it's over 30 degrees, they can go back out there and start laying block.
They've been doing a good job picking away at it. They've got the garage area up to bearing points on one of the side walls, and they're still working. The large wall that's up there, that's the wall that divides the gym portion of the annex from the fitness center portion of the annex, which is in front of it. So when you're looking at that, that's what that wall is.
So what's the time frame that
The annex? Yeah. It's going to be, right now it's a little bit hard to gauge the final date just based on what the weather's doing, but it's going to be between start of fall and Christmas time frame. If the weather kind of breaks.
Basketball season.
They're
shooting for basketball season.
Yeah.
I thought it was late summer, early fall.
Yeah, in the future reports, are we able to get a running list of the change orders? Yeah, we have, what, $1.2 million
yeah,
contingency?
absolutely.
And just a list of what we have and what we have left. I think it'd be helpful for the board.
Kind of a contingency update is what you're looking for.
Have a running total of what we spent on change orders and what we have left.
That's kind of in the sheets that he passes out, the last sheet that shows what you're approving for pay applications for the month. There's a line item in there that is change orders, and it's by contract, and there's a total over there. It's the second line down on that list, but we can.
It's easy to pull it out and maybe just
more,
make it stand out a little bit more.
Yeah,
and they can detail the change orders out.
It just as a reference, I know we're in about $70,000 of our $1.2 million, but now that we added the sewage, which was about $160,000, with these couple change orders here, I think we're going to be about $250,000 into the $1.2 million. So we still have not quite $1 million left.
And you're at least schedule-wise and cost-wise what you've spent to date, a quarter of the way into the project. So.
Give us something like this change.
We just had some concerns. I know one of the big concerns that we talked about is the power issue, and that's maybe for another meeting to see where that's at. We're going to do some core drilling out there, and we're trying to get that scheduled for next week or two.
With the Annex 2, I think was going to add all the structural steel that goes up next is already fabricated, complete, ready to go. So as soon as those walls do go up, we'll be able to move seamlessly right into them.
That's a good point to make, because a lot of times you're waiting for structural steel. They're ahead of the game here, and they have it ready for us.
And the last area they're working in, as Scott kind of mentioned, that back hallway, there's a couple classrooms up above it. There's the science lab, so they're picking away at that right now. Demolition's underway. They'll have that finished up by the end of the school year. The science rooms, you'll get back at the beginning of next school year, because what they'll do is they'll come in this summer, and all the science rooms get redone, so they'll come in once and do all the casework for that. Any other questions?
Any questions?
I am glad to have a representative from Penn Township Police with us tonight, Officer Seafield, and he's here to join me as we wanted to give the board an update on the program that we're having for our parents. We will have a presentation tonight that we were going to do, but as of now, we're still working on a date with our presenter, so more information will follow. But the information tonight is going to include a focus on digital citizenship and cover the topics of internet safety, cyberbullying, and sexting. Officer Myers, our school SRO officer, addresses these issues during the school day as he does presentations in classrooms. But our police department and school district want to open up to parents as well by doing an information session tonight. Please look forward to more information to follow. I've pretty much read everything on there. Do you have anything you want to jump in?
No, sir. Pretty much covered. Thank you.
All right, I appreciate that. And I also want to thank you while you're here and all the Penn Township Police today for keeping us well informed with the incident that happened in Claridge. During dismissal time, it was right at 2:30, and we never get a chance to, it was like a rule, almost like a, not a practice drill, it was actually a real life drill that we had to use with our students to keep everyone safe, and we was kept well informed. So I really appreciate that. Thank you. Kindergarten registration was this past week, and in round one we had 150 students sign up. At this time last year we had 155. Currently we have 242 students in kindergarten. The next official week of kindergarten registration is the week of February 23rd. So we'll keep you updated on that. And that's all I have on the information. If I go through the rest of the meeting, we have next week on the agenda under athletics and extracurricular, accept resignations, employee personnel, approve volunteer coaches. Under budget and finance, approve payment for credits earned, approve expenditures for high school renovation project to schedule, acknowledge receipt of PDE's approval of Plan Con Part F, Part G, and Part I with noted corrections, acknowledge receipt of PDE's approval of variance request dated April 14, 2014, approve audited financial statements and single audit for 2013-2014, as the gentleman just talked about. Approve change order for the acid waste piping revision, as Mr. Inglace directed, and award the bid for gasoline and diesel fuel. And Brett, did you want to share some information about the new price of gasoline?
Yeah, the current school year we are paying $3.07 per gallon for diesel fuel. We were able to lock in the bid next year at $1.97 per gallon. Now our contract with the vendor, basically we pay the bill and then deduct it off of their bill. So although their contract the last couple of years, they've been hurt by the price of fuel, this will help Vermont give them some relief from the prices we've been paying. So it was a good year to buy fuel. The timing was right.
Next week, we won't have anything under buildings, grounds, and safety, employee relations, negotiations, transportation, or food service. Under personnel and curriculum, we have approved substitute teachers and support personnel, employee personnel, issue professional contract, approved conference requests, approved leave requests. And finally, under policy, public relations, legislative, Title II, accept and file the information committee meeting minutes of January 5th, 2015. Tentatively approve revised policy number 204, which deals with attendance, and number 806, which deals with child abuse. Final approval of revised policies and regulations tentatively approved on January 12, 2015, and adopt PD resolution authorizing electronic signatures. Under taxes, insurance, census, we won't have anything to report.
Thank you, Dr. Harris. It's recognition of visitors. There's no one has signed up tonight to speak, so I will...
Mr. Simpson, do you want to say anything while you're here? I think we're the last people standing.
Mr. Simpson?
Thanks, Ron. And actually, you know what, Jim, thank you so
Anything
much.
you would add?
With instantaneously, when we called you this afternoon, you was on the situation and you had a well thought out plan. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
And I also appreciate you showing up. And how long were you at the Make-A-Wish tournament this past weekend?
A long time.
10 hours?
No.
8 hours? Oh, 8 hours? It was 8 hours. A long day for dodgeball. So I give you full credit because I know the Make-A-Wish was a joint effort between Penn Middle and Harrison Park's PTO. And you did a great job, so I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. And you already said that next year you have some.
Some changes before.
All right, I appreciate it. We'll look forward to that next year.
All right, like call for adjournment, 7:44.